All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. This podcast fits your macros. We're here again today, right, Coach Ry?
Boom. Yes, we are. We're ready for another episode, you guys. We took a little, how long were we off, Cailean? There.
Oh gosh, you know what? Like kid schedules on my behalf, and you had, all sorts of different crazy things happening on your end.
Yep.
Shoot, it's at least like I think 6 weeks.
I
Which,
think it
sorry,
was
guys.
about 6 weeks. Yeah, sorry, guys. We intend to, do these how often? I don't know. Once a month
Like
at
every
least,
other
right?
week.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, the goal is twice a month, but
Is it?
like
It's
I
news to
mean,
me.
I have, well, that's my goal eventually, because I have every other, my little daycare arrangement every other Wednesday. So I figure that's like the perfect time because I won't have like a 7-year-old bombarding me with, Encanto,
Yeah.
singing Encanto or something.
Encanto. Yeah, you know
Ooh.
what? Let's see what the people want. What do you guys want? If you're, what do you want us to do? One episode a month, two, fucking every week? Oh, what do you want? Let me know. Let us know. Drop a comment or send us a message somewhere, and we will get it
Yep,
done. What are we going to
we
talk
are
about
here to
today, though,
serve you.
Cailean?
Oh, today we're talking about the fact that, like, let's be real, 2022 has kind of been a shit show. And
Damn.
so many of us, like, went into 2022 thinking, like, fuck yeah, this is my year.
Right.
And like, I think even more so this year than any other year on the record, I feel like people fell off real quick.
I
And
agree.
that's because a lot of them, I mean, you and me are both talking about, I would say about 50 to 60% of my clients got COVID within like the first 2 weeks of the year, something. Oh, that's my daycare or that's my
Yeah.
kid pickup alarm. But yeah, so that's what we're kind of going to go to is like how to pick yourself back up when you were expecting like something awesome to happen and maybe we got off course, and some habits that can help us, really lock those in even when shit does hit the fan. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah. So if you guys, you're out there and you had your resolution and you got sick or you just got sick of trying to have a resolution, today we're going to tell you exactly how to get it back going. It is actually February 2nd, so it is about time to fire the engines back up and get back to work. So that's what today's episode will tell you. But Cailean, first, was it worth your macros? What food item you got for us this week?
So I teased it on my Instagram a couple weeks ago. My sister Mora, the lifting RN, hooked me
Mm-hmm.
up. I had seen that there are waffle flavored Pop Tarts out there, so it's like, all
Waffle.
right, I like waffles. I like
Yeah.
Pop Tarts. Okay, now is that something you would pick off the shelves? No way, Jose.
I haven't eaten a Pop Tart in like I can't even describe how long. I don't even think I ever liked a Pop Tart, but that's all right. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll consider it if you tell me it's good. So the waffle Pop Tart, what was it?
Okay, it was okay. I was expecting a lot more maple flavor, but I mean, it gets the job done. It's good, but
Yeah.
again, like I have just like these super high expectations, and I just expected it to be like super syrupy, and it was okay. It's definitely not worth your macros if you are cutting, but if you're in game season, sure, throw
And what
them
kind of what
in
kind of
because
calories and macros are on that thing? Anything off
you
the
don't
top of
want
your
to
head?
know. I actually took a picture of it because one of my biggest pet peeves about Pop Tarts is that they come in packages of two.
Yeah.
And unless you are in a severe gain season, there is absolutely no reason that you need to be eating two Pop Tarts at a time. And
Right,
it's
right.
funny because I put that on my Instagram. And I personally, when I eat Pop Tarts, I will take one out and I will tape it shut
Yeah.
because I'm not even like I'm deep in gain season and I don't even want to eat that much because it's just like pure sugar. So basically, two Pop Tarts is like 76 grams of carbs and like I want to say like 8 to 12 grams of fat for the
Yeah,
two of
I'm
them.
looking. I'm trying to look it up right now. So it was it the
How
frosted
close am I?
waffle cone
Yeah,
toasty? Yeah, is that what it was?
it was like waffle flavored. I don't
Just
know the
waffle
exact.
flavor.
Yeah, Pop
Waffle
Tart.
flavor. Well,
You get them
whatever.
at
Let's just
Target.
see in general what a Pop Tart macros are looking like here, just so you guys have an idea, right? Because you said it's how many calories you think?
Oh, I don't know the calories. I just look at macros, but it's 76 grams of carbs and
For a
like
whole one or for just
for
one
two.
half? For two. Okay.
The
Let's see this one. Oh,
They come
maple
in
syrup
packages of
waffle. I
two.
found them.
There we go. See, it
This,
says maple syrup waffle, so I expected it to slap me in the face with maple syrup flavor, and it didn't.
yeah. 380 calories for I don't know if that's for, oh, there's four
That's for
servings in
two.
the container.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
says
So
4
that's the
servings.
two. Well, yeah, because they come in packages of two. So it's two, two, two,
Oh,
two.
so you're only supposed to eat one? Who the hell's what?
So I only eat one, but like think of how many people eat two at a time. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I did when I was a kid. One of the girls that I know from group fitness like hit me up after and she's like, I cannot believe how many times like after PE we'd go to the vending machine and just like slam down two Pop Tarts. And it's just like, crazy.
Yeah,
They're
this is
so like
crazy.
talk about like hyper palatable foods,
I'll tell you
man.
what, I
Like
would eat like the whole box myself.
I,
So
I
this
mean,
would
it's
be bad.
easy. They're nothing. They're
That'd be
nothing.
bad news. So that's 12 fat, it says.
Okay.
67 carbs. It's all in Spanish.
Okay.
Whatever label I found is.
Espanol.
And then protein is 4 grams. So some solid protein in
Woo!
there for a Pop Tart.
4 grams
So
going
it was
towards my
not
what,
worth the
126.
calories, you would say, Cailean. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, if I had to choose between my favorite, the strawberry classic Pop Tart versus this waffle Pop Tart, I'm going with strawberry.
Yeah. Now the question is, could you have added your own syrup to it and it would have maybe made it better?
Ooh, I don't know. I have some left, so I will get back to you on that because
Dang. Because you probably got them
yeah,
calorie-free syrups and all that, right?
I do. But with
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
carbs getting so high, I have transitioned to the full syrup.
Wow, that's amazing. See,
So
full syrup, people.
yeah,
You're hearing it straight
actually,
from a
I know.
competitor's mouth
Yeah.
right now. Eating full syrup, believe it or
That
not.
was a stepping stone, man. That's like the ultimate, like in game season when you can use like full throttle maple syrup, man.
Yeah,
It's good
that's
life.
awesome. Well, you guys tell Kayleen any other things you've seen that you may want her to attempt to eat and give you the macros, the rating on, because she's pretty deep in the improvement. She's got a lot of calories right now. She can fit it. So if you're out there dieting and you can't be talking about Pop Tarts, tell Kayleen to eat them instead.
Yes,
Right.
yes, I'm here to serve.
All right, you guys. So let's dive into our main topic then. So, basically, yeah, like we were saying, how many of your clients, Kayleen, were getting sick just right at the turn of the year this year?
Gosh, I would say like 50 to 60%. And it like just it was like a constant like ebb and flow of like clients getting COVID, clients getting COVID, clients getting COVID. And so it's like, okay, now this one would be like okay to go to the gym. So like, just lots of scrambling to rewrite plans so that they could still get their lifts in at home, even if they, pending they were okay to lift. A lot of
Right.
them were not, So the ones
Yeah.
that were, it's like, okay, if you're feeling good, let me know. I'll help you out there. But it was definitely a lot of my clients. What would you say percentage wise?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like every day I was just waking up to people like, oh, I got the COVID, man. I can't go to the gym, got a quarantine, don't know what to do. And yeah, some people totally fine, wanted to do home workouts. Others, were not. Some people I've talked to still, coaching that they've been sick for like 3 weeks. So it's
Yeah.
just different for everybody. But the thing was, this was turn of right around January, right? When everybody sets their resolution, they're all excited, and then they're ready to go. And wham, COVID will be the thing to mess you up. Or, any of these other sick people getting sick with all kinds of weird shit, COVID or not, it kind of really puts a halt on the gains that you want to make, whether that was fat loss, muscle building, whatever. So we're making this episode today, you guys. Even if you didn't get COVID, you may have fallen off your resolution. When we look at the long term of resolutions, they really don't last. About 95% of people will fail resolution, within that first 3 months. And even if they get back on the train over the long haul, still a lot of people fall off, when we look at years, months down the line. So we're going to give you the tools, the tips, and hacks here to get your shit together today, get back to work, get back on the train, and get there. So what do you think the first step would be, Kayleen, for somebody right now? They either fell off, they got sick, whatever happened, something hit them. It's February. What do we do? What's the first thing?
I would say mindset, so many people have this mentality where it's like, and this goes with everyday things, it's like, oh fuck it, I'll just wait for 2023. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna be my year.
that's
And
what
you saw a lot
happens.
of memes about that. And it's like that saying where it's like, just because you have one flat tire does not mean you should slash all the other four because it's useless. You can still make 2020 a really great year. And I mean, I luckily so far haven't gotten COVID. It did go through my house, but like
Hmm.
even like midway through January, I was like coming up with different things to like add to my life and different rituals to start up. And it's just
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to be January, it could be February, it could be like whatever the hell you want. You can still improve your life because like there's just so much optimization one can do in their lifespan. So
Yeah.
it's like just over time you add little things, little habits, the 1% better, right?
Yeah, yeah. A little bit better over time makes a big difference. So you're saying mindset would be the number one thing. What's a hack or a tool that you utilize that other people could use to, first thing in the morning, get your mind right?
So I have recently, I mean, gosh, how long have you been telling me to do this? But
Let me
recently.
guess.
So what happened is I I have a planner that I love,
Mhm.
but I also got a planner for Christmas and I was like, well, shoot, like I was honestly going to give it away, but I was like, wait a second. I can take this planner and do something that I've always been meaning to do, which is write out my goals every single
Yes.
day and
Yes.
write out my gratitude, things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Because, if you're doing that first thing in the morning, you've got your mindset channeled on what you're going to accomplish either today, the year, the month. And then you're already thinking about how like awesome your life is already. I mean, trying to change like what I'm grateful for like every single day. Cause like I could say every day that I'm grateful for my family, my job, my work, all that stuff. But like,
Hmm.
just different things and really just getting your mind right first thing out of bed.
Yeah. And that's huge, you guys. If you're not doing this type of stuff, you really should. And it took Kayleen probably how many years I've been coaching you now, Kayleen?
Like 6 years.
We might have been talking about that 6 years ago, and she's doing it now. I mean, there may have been a few stints between, but the routine does pay off, you guys, if you start doing this, because your goals in this type of world, especially. And here's why so many people that maybe didn't get COVID or got sick, still fell off. This world is crazy right now. The world's crazy. People are distracted by everything. They're looking at text, they're looking at social media, they're looking at the news, they're looking at life is too chaotic. And so like any little thing puts you over the top and it's game over. Now you're like, dang, now you and then it's easier to stay on the bottom than it is trying to climb a mountain while you're exhausted, you're tired, you got fatigue, your mental state ain't right, so that's why a lot of people fall off. So the things you got to do is prioritize your goals, and you got to prioritize where you're at, and like remember every step of the way, every day, what it is you're trying to accomplish, why you want to, and then also the things you already have, right? That's the grateful part you're talking about, because I find that honestly becomes more important in this type of setting where you're trying to get your mind right. You got to realize the things you've done and the things you're grateful for that you have to get that mind right in the first place, to even begin to add to the plate of the next goal. So, that's one way to do it. I've always suggested, writing down your goals in the morning, evening, and even any time that some shit negative is going on, whether it's a negative thought you had, maybe something, it's a bad day, some shit came up, take time, step away, write that shit down, and don't be texting it. Don't get on your phone, and don't be doing that with a pen and a paper, old school shit. I had to write with a pen the other day for the first time in forever. And I was like, holy shit, my handwriting, I look like I'm in the first grade. I was like, is somebody going to look at this? I was like, do I need to ask somebody
Oh,
help for this shit over here? So use a pen and a paper, you guys, because it is the most beneficial way to actually put the body and the mind to the paper.
mhm. Absolutely. And even like with grocery lists, I'm one that like wants to like write it out because then I feel like I internalize
Yeah,
what I'm actually supposed to be
it does
getting at
make
the
a big
grocery store
difference.
instead of just typing out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
But I
big
also
difference.
have chicken scratch. And now that my child is like actually reading, she's like, what, like I'll like write a sentence down for her and she's like, what does that even say, Mom? And I'm like, oh, I guess I need to work on my penmanship. Time to
You're
put that
like,
as a
you know
goal.
what? It says what I said it says. That's what it says.
Great.
So first step
Secret
was
language.
mindset. What's next? What's the next step people do to take action?
So then I would start to like plan out your day. So
Hmm.
I like to schedule what I'm doing when, especially because like so many of us are still working at home or always have worked at home, like recently. And so it's like if you don't have a schedule for the day, and again, especially if you're at home, you're not going to like go out of your way to make it to the gym. If you don't
Right.
have that date to go to the gym or to do this task or to do this, that, and the other thing, even like planning out your day on my fitness pal You want to get that in the schedule. So have your whole day blockaded so you don't find yourself just here like, oh, I don't have anything to do right now, scrolling Instagram. So
Yeah.
that would be my next step also.
Yeah, Instagram is the killer of gains, everybody. Listen to what I just said.
Oh,
Instagram
so
will
true.
kill your gains. It will. It really will.
So
If you use it the wrong ways. But yeah, definitely plan out your schedule, you guys. It takes the key. Like I said, so many distractions, so many things come up. You're going to be in a spot where something happened. Now the whole day's ruined because you weren't planning for it. Now there's no time to get to the gym, no time to eat right. And now you're sitting in the line at McDonald's at 1 a.m. trying to get yourself a Big Mac. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. You don't want to be doing that. And if you have a structure, you have a plan, okay, here's what I do at 9 a.m. Like, it's 10 a.m. It's 10:28 right now, me and Cailean recording this podcast. It was not just like, hey, are we doing this podcast on Wednesday randomly? We had this shit planned out 2 weeks ago, you guys. That's what it takes. Because then we know, all right, now we do everything before, we do everything after, we get our stuff done. That's what you got to do with everything in your life. As much things as you can that you need to be doing. Gym, getting your food right, making sure when the hell you're going to sleep, when you're working, what else you're doing. All of these things that you can plan out makes it huge, because then it's like, oh, look, it's 9 o'clock. Boom, I'm in. I'm checking in. Now I'm going to the gym. And then it's the next thing. And all of a sudden your day's done and you were successful at everything. And the cool thing is when you do one thing, it's like momentum forward to the next thing. And then you start doing that and you're winning the day already. You're feeling good about it. And, one thing so when you use a schedule, Cailean, what are you doing? Is it pen and paper? Are you putting it on your phone? You getting alerts? What are you doing?
I do pen and paper because I love the satisfaction of
crossing it off.
off.
Yeah, you do like doing that stuff. You do that whole prep countdown and everything too, right? Like with the numbers and all that on the board.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I'm a very visual person.
And so when you do it that way, do you have a hard time ever like keeping track of time? Are you like, oh dang, it's 10:28, I missed the 10 a.m. I was, that kind of thing, or no?
Every once again, like obviously some more like time sensitive things I do have the calendar alerts for, because I can get very deep into my work. Sometimes I'm just working away at client plans and I'm like, oh shit, guys, that happened. I had a chiropractor appointment and luckily the chiropractor was nearby because I think it was at like 11 and it was like 10:58 and I was like, like
Yeah.
that was today, wasn't it? So I
You're
feel
like, whoa,
like,
gotta go.
skedaddle out of there. But so for the time sensitive things, I do tend to put it in my calendar. But for the most part, I have in my planner like the list of the things that I want to do and kind of a prioritizing from there. And I do have my working windows and then I do have my non-working windows, which we just recently established. And a lot of that too was apps that you can use on the phone. So I guess that would kind of segue into the next topic, but I don't know if we're ready to leave this one yet. Are we?
Oh, well, yeah, I want to say a little bit of something about the, the whole schedule thing. So obviously this way works well for you, which is awesome, right? Write it out, boom, done deal. For me, it's always been alerts, right? Like I have my schedule set all the time. I'll be sitting at my desk and a little thing pops up in the corner. It's like, hey, 10 a.m., do this, it's time to do your programs, or you're trying to do, it's time to go to the gym in 10 minutes, that kind of thing. So there's multitudes of ways you can do this. If you guys are out there listening, you want to incorporate a schedule, you can do it the old school way like Cailean likes old school shit, I notice a lot. Or you can do it with your phone. It can set an alert. You can do it with a computer, whatever it is, something that gets you in the routine. And here's the idea to think about too, right, is don't think too much about being perfect with your schedule as it goes. Your schedule has to be an evolving thing. It will feel very hectic and hard to set it up in the beginning, and it will feel even harder to get the routine going. But then you'll learn, all right, well, you know what, Wednesday's just really not a great day for me to do this. I should put that over on a different day or whatever. So ease into your schedule and just start moving along and seeing what fits good and seeing what feels good. And then you'll have, eventually a perfect thing. Like I'll tell you guys, I still don't think I have the perfect schedule myself. And I've been doing this shit forever. I'm still editing my schedule, even up to last week, like Cailean was just talking about. So, it's a process to learn. So what's the next thing there, Cailean?
I was just going to give some tips on how to kind of avoid distractions.
Okay.
And because like obviously, so the downside to doing your everything on your electronics is that, like, oh, you get a notification for this. And what I was finding myself personally getting in trouble with,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I just missed the calendar app. And then I'm like, oh, I have a notification for Instagram. And I know you turn all your notifications off, which is great,
Yes.
but I
Yes, I do.
didn't at the time.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, let me see what that's. And before you know it, I've spent like 10, 15 minutes like scrolling Instagram and stupid shit like that. And that shit adds up.
It
So what I
does.
have done is I have played with the different functions on the phone. And right now, so I don't know if I talked about it on here, but I use the sleep function. We have Apple phones. So I use the sleep function at night. And I don't know if you've played around with this at all, but basically you can set, your schedule of when you're supposed to go to sleep, and it will give you a reminder. You can set a window before that will kind of like detox you before bed. So
Mm.
like it will actually like pretty much shut down like a wall on your phone, to the fact, because we're trained, I don't know about you, I'm trained to pick up my phone every once in a while and see like what's going on.
Yeah.
But this will actually create a wall, and you have to like actually press a button and swipe up to get into your phone, which is nice.
Yeah.
So you can set that for your sleep. But I most recently also did the screen time function as well on my Apple phone, which is like you can limit the times that you can go into different apps. So I've limited my Instagram time, and then all social media apps after like 4 p.m. for me are done. And that's
Cool.
because 4 p.m., that's like when my daughter first comes home from school, she does her homework, I do a little bit more work, anything I have to finish up, but then at 4 p.m. it is family time. And I'm just not going to be distracted by any of those things. So
Yeah.
that can be the same thing for work. You can use these different things. If you find yourself at work or even at the gym, like scrolling Instagram, you can put a time blockade on these different apps to keep you focused on what you need to do.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And guys, we're not sponsored by Apple for one, and we don't hate Instagram or social media for two. But here's what you got to realize, right? One of the biggest excuses we hear from anybody ever, and you'll hear this all the time. You've said it. I guarantee everybody out there said it. You don't have the time. You don't have time to go to the gym today. You don't have time to eat right today. You don't have time to prep. It's some time for something that you don't have, right? And it's because these little 15 minutes, like Cailean's talking about, that adds up to an hour. That adds up to 2. That adds up to 3 sometimes a day. I mean, there's definitely people out there spending more than that time on their phone a day, And so then you look at your life and you realize, whoa, look at this thing. I mean, I'm spending all my time in front of this computer or in front of the phone or doing this. And those little 2-second pickups that turn into 10 minutes, they really do add up. And that could be a whole gym workout. That could be a whole time to prep your food. That could be a whole time to do whatever else in your life.
For me, it was mobility, like it was like I was really finding a hard time to fit my mobility in. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, once I quit the social media in the afternoon, it was like, hey, I've got all this time for mobility here, and we all need to be doing mobility. So even if you are like, oh, my time's perfect, well, boom, now you got some mobility time.
Yeah, and you just recently started this whole thing, right? A couple weeks ago, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what have you noticed so far? Like, have you noticed any physical, mental benefit from doing that?
So much. Like,
Yeah.
so I kind of experienced this when I went camping in October. Was that October? Yeah, something. And like, I basically didn't have access to my phone unless I walked like a half mile to this place that had Wi-Fi.
Unless you did cardio.
But man, it was like crazy. The first couple days, I would just like, instinctively pick up my phone and check, because obviously everything I do is on my phone, and I'm just like I was very hardwired to be so attached to that thing. And it's like, it's not good for you mentally. I mean, just like as a society as whole, we just rely way too much on it. And it's like allowed me to, one, connect with my daughter more, because I was noticing that like, she would be telling me things and I'd be like, doing something, and like I don't mind doing work, and I'll be like, hey, I need to work, but most of the time it wasn't, like it was stuff that could have waited. And
Sure.
So like my relationship with my daughter, the fact I'm doing more mobility, like I'm even adding like extra stretches just to like make sure everything is in tip top shape for this season. And like between, of course, me and my husband, it's like when we're not doing screens, we can have meaningful conversations and
Mhm.
enjoy. Oh, the main thing too is eating like with screens, like getting rid of that. Like you're
Yeah,
actually focused on enjoying your meal. There's like not that screens, like tons of great stuff has come from screens. My whole job is on screens. Like
yep,
I help you buy screens, but they also can bite you in the ass too. So not to
totally.
mention now in the evenings, I'm not scrolling Instagram and looking at somebody else and thinking like, why don't I look like this or
Mhm.
that or the other thing? And I'm getting that digital detox before bed too. So there's just, I mean, the benefits go on and on, but it
Yeah.
has been such a game changer as far as freeing up a lot of time and everything else.
Yeah, you guys. So if you have a hard time with your time and you don't feel like you got time to get to the gym or prep your food or do whatever, that's a first step. And you see a lot of these hacks we're giving you today don't really involve like, hey, do this with your macros. Hey, do this with your workout. It's more like changing your life to fit your goals, which is really what it takes if you want to go to the top of your goal and achieve it no matter what. Like you have to be able to fit the kind of things you want to do into your lifestyle. And a lot of the world is a distraction right now, which will take away from that. So taking screen time buys you time. It gives you time to do other things, which is definitely something that you want to do. Cailean is just doing this stuff for the first time now, but like my phone has been basically a brick for years, you guys. Like there was a time many years ago where I was doing the same kind of things Kayleen's done. And then one day I turned off all my notifications. I don't have a single notification that will pop up on my phone. And the only time I get on there is when I know I'm doing something that I need to do on my phone. I set aside time to look at whatever, to do my messages, to change my training programs, to do whatever it needs to be done. And otherwise, I'm doing my best to not be on there. Granted, again, you guys, if you start this process, just like everything else we've talked about, it is not about perfection. Everybody will mess this up. I've messed this up. Kayleen's probably messed this up, and if she hasn't, she will. And if you start, you will too. It's just the way it goes, you guys. So be easing into the process and understand that it's not about perfection ever. It's about making changes that eventually lead to the next thing. So that was a lot. Gotta catch my breath. So now where are we at, Kayleen? What do we do next? How do people kind of reset their goal? We kind of set their life for them, right? What do we need to
Yeah.
do to tell people to get the engine back running without thinking they got to sprint right now?
Basically start small. One of the things that I like to do is like habit stacking. So you take
Mhm.
one thing, like pick one thing you do every day. It doesn't have to be something fitness related, but like for example, almost everybody will sit down in the morning and drink a cup of coffee at some point in their life, right? Or some hot beverage or milk. I don't know, whatever your fancy is. Maybe you're eating a bowl of cereal. I love cereal. Then at that point, habit stack that with writing maybe your daily gratitude and your goals. Like that's what I'm doing right now. Take these different things that you're doing right now and just add something that will optimize your life along to it. So, yeah, okay, maybe you watch an episode of TV every day. Do your mobility while you're watching your episode of TV every day. Just
Mhm.
little things like that will help you out in the long run. And before long, I mean, for me, it's only taken like a couple like 1 to 2 weeks to like really ingrain these in my head, but most habits take about 30 days
Sure.
to really ingrain into somebody. So starting with little tiny things that you're already doing and just add something to it that will help you out.
Yeah, good, good. And so when people come to that point and they're trying to really start small and build upon it, I mean, what's the kind of pace they look at? Should they expect 30 days is the kind of standard, or I find what people always mess up is they think it's got to be done overnight. You sit down and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, here's my I got my new schedule, I got my new routine. I'm going to the gym tomorrow. I got to eat this. I'm gonna eat this. The change, and then you're like, I did one day. Where's my changes? What happened? What's the difference? Where's the difference? That was a hard day. Where's
Yeah.
the where? And then you're like, well, no, nothing's changed. So, is there a timeline people should be realistic about with themselves when it comes to seeing progress?
And give themselves grace. I mean, first of all, if you're in bodybuilding, you need to learn patience because this shit ain't quick. If your lifestyle too, but like especially bodybuilding, these things take time, and anything that comes quick is not going to be long term. So just know slow and steady wins the race. It's like I tell my clients so many times, it's like we all know that story of the tortoise and the hare. If you just go crazy right from the get-go,
Yep.
you're not going to win the race. Whereas, if you take it step by step, the results will add up. It's almost like cumulative effect of all these good changes. And before you know it, it's like, boom, I am like a completely different person than I was when I started in February 2nd, 2020, after listening to this podcast. And I got so inspired to change my life.
That's right. That's right. Where you guys should be right now, too. If you made it this far, hopefully you're thinking about these changes. And that's another thing I want to say, we talked a lot about mindset, but action is the key too, you guys. Like, if you need to right now, if you got your goals in your head and you're listening, pause this podcast, pull the car over. If you're listening on the road, wherever you're at, stop what you're doing and actually write down your damn goals. Stop what you're doing and think about a schedule. Stop what you do. Take action. If you want to wait till the end of the episode, all right. But do it today. Don't be like, that was a great episode. Can't wait to do that. And then, a week goes by, tomorrow goes by, a month goes by, you still never did it. You got to take action on this stuff. If you just hear it and you're just listening, you're nodding, you're like, yeah, that's great. It's awesome. Sounds great. I'm going to change my life. If you don't do anything, it ain't going to do anything for you, no matter what. And that's the same with all this. You could write your goals down. You could get a nice schedule. You could start putting your phone down more and doing all these other distractions, getting rid of it. But if you're not actually doing the other things, like, prepping the food, eating the food, going to the gym, working out, doing these things, you can count on the fact nothing's going to be done for you. Okay. So it's all structure you're building to actually execute, take action on the work better when the time comes.
Agreed.
Yeah. So what else we got on here, Cailean? Where are we at now?
I think we covered like pretty much everything we're going to cover, except for, the little offer that we were thinking about offering. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about that, guys. So obviously, if you guys have been following Team Flex for a while, we do online coaching. We coach for all goals, competitors, lifestyle clients, weight loss, fat loss, muscle building, all this. And we just raised our rates for 2022 because our service is getting better. And obviously the world is charging more for everything too. So as a business, we got to survive. We got to bring the rates up, but the services are better. Things are better than they've ever been. The coaching's better. The results are better. So the rates came up, but we're going to offer you something today. So Cailean, tell people what we're going to give them.
So we, as a restart of 2022, we are going to give you 2021 pricing on all of our packages. So that's really awesome. On most of the packages, it saves you $100 a month, which, if you think about it, is like $1,200 a year. If I did that math right, hopefully, geez, that's elementary. But I forget what our paid in full price will save you, but still good savings. If you're watching, we just wanted to thank you with that. If you're thinking about joining the team, but you're not sure, maybe it was like, oh, you missed the chance because you were dying of COVID like at the beginning of the year, and that kind of train wrecked your stuff. Like we've got this offer for you to get it while it's here.
Yeah, you guys, it's a great opportunity. So if you're hearing this episode at any point in time, go to our website. We got a live chat bot on there. It'll pop up and be like, hey, what's going on? And it's actually going to be one of the coaches. It's probably mostly going to be Cailean right there answering. You just be like, hey, I listened to the episode. I'd like to, hear more about the 2021 pricing, which was better pricing. You guys, we did offer it, we pushed it near the end of the year to tell people to get it because we were going to raise it this year. And so if you went out into 2022 and it didn't go right and you want help, you want a coach, whatever it was, from being sick to just losing your resolution, the plan didn't work, maybe you got a different coach and they didn't work, that's probably what happened actually. We will teach you how to get there. We will help you get there. We got programs for everybody and everything. What's that?
Maybe you went keto and it didn't work out.
Yeah, maybe you went keto and now you don't want to be keto anymore, and we'll tell you how to do it. We got it all, you guys. So you can get that 2021 pricing. Just go to our website, teamfflex.com. Type into the little robot. It'll be there. The little bot will say, hey, I'm here. And it's probably Cailean, but it's not going to be me, but it could be someone else. It's probably Cailean. Yeah. So, just say you want to check out the 2021 pricing offers for the programs, and we will get you set on that. You guys, we want to see you all be successful. That's why we make this content. That's why we put this out here, to make sure that you're going to the top of your goals. We want to see you win no matter what you do, program or no program. Hope you got something out of the episode today. What else, Cailean? Anything else?
Oh, there have been so many mom and dad jokes over these past 6 weeks, but do you think I prepped a single one of them right now? I do have one. It happened last night.
Do you?
So now that I'm in like deep gain season, obviously the carbs are very high. They're at like 320 something for those who are wondering, which is a fuck ton.
300 carb club, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So there was this bread I was buying at I started this grocery delivery program, and it was called like naan bread. And it was really
Yeah,
good, made
I love
really
that shit.
good pizzas. Oh my gosh, so good, right? And like Bradley, the husband, loved them too, but he needs to be watching his carbs, that asshole. I love him. But he's like, so he went to go, he's like, oh, you bought the naan bread? And I was like, yeah, naan for you though. And it was really funny. He was like, wow,
Geez.
okay, what a dick move.
And then he still ate it, didn't he?
No, I
He
like,
didn't?
yeah, that's
Oh,
mine. There's
oh.
only 2 per package, so that was mine.
You brought the gavel down on him. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Dang,
you
you
know
should.
me. I used to teach body combat. Just
It's
kidding.
true. Yeah, you should write that one down. That's a really good one. We should write
No.
that down. If you guys made it this far, hashtag that on a story and I'll repost it. Tag at Team Flex.
Hashtag
Non
non for you.
That's awesome. All right, cool.
Oh.
Well, you guys, that's the end of the episode here, I think. Then let us know what you guys want us to talk about in the future. You know, more shows, whatever topics you want to hear. We'll get back to a little bit more of the routine kind of topics next time, getting into more food stuff for you guys. But you know, it's important to talk about stuff like this too, because all that other shit doesn't work if you can't do it anyway, right? So that's where we're at. Cailean, sign us out of here.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time on this podcast. Fits Your Macros.
Boom.